The divisional round is here. We are back with the boys. Last week we did the wild card breakdown, NFL playoffs opening round. The wild card round was amazing to watch. A couple games weren't the best, but there was some really good football. So we're expecting even better football, or at least the same level of football this weekend, as we got a lot of really good games. We're here with Joe, Josh, and Mike. Dan hopefully will be joining us soon. Joey had some prior things to take care of, but he'll be back next week. So let's get into it. Fantasy Savvy on X. Follow the show. Like, subscribe, share. We're going to break down every single game. We're going to talk DFS. We're going to talk props, picks, best ball, whatever you need to get ready for this weekend. We got you covered. We'll bring in our weatherman, Ricky Jenkins as well, talk some weather. He'll be in later, hopefully. So let's get into it. Okay, we are back. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Steve?
Nothing much, Steve.
All right, so before we get into the games for this week, I don't know if any of you guys had anything you just wanted to touch on briefly from the opening round. Joe, I'll start with you.
Why start with me? All right, let's see.
Oh, we can go to Dan. I mean, we can go to Josh.
Patriots moved on. Happy about that. They got to deal with the Houston defense now, but we'll talk about that when we get to that game. Buffalo moved on. I was right about that. I just couldn't see Josh Allen losing to Trevor Lawrence in a playoff game. Chicago surprised me. Not Chicago. Green Bay surprised me by jumping. That game I thought Chicago was going to run away with. Green Bay gave them a pretty good game, beat up on them for a good chunk of the game, and Caleb just keeps doing his thing in the second half, and he wills that team to a victory, and Chicago got to move on. Who else am I? What am I missing? The Rams, Carolina. They covered the 10.5 points. Just as I said I was going to stay away from it, but if I had to pick one, I was taking the 10.5 points. That didn't surprise me. They actually they could have won. They could have very easily won that game. They let Matt Stafford get the ball back at the end, and he did his thing with the game-winning drive, and the Rams moved on. So all in all, I thought it was 4 good games. None of them were disappointing or boring at all. They were all good games, and we're on to the divisional round now.
Yeah, Josh, anything really stick out to you from last week?
Yeah, when we had your draft for your playoff league, there was a pretty good debate on if Josh Allen was an elite quarterback, and man, he showed that he's an elite athlete. I just don't think he can take another beating like that. That was a really rough game for him. His injury reports reading pretty long right now, but I thought for sure that he blew his knee out when he got hit at the goal line. That was so close to being something really nasty. So I don't know who Buffalo goes to this week. They're losing wide receivers right and left, so need Kincaid to step up, and maybe Brandon Cooks rocks on. I don't know. So, or maybe Keon Coleman has his moment to shine. But I was kind of bummed out to see Gabe Davis get the injury. But
yeah, he made some big catches in that game.
Yeah. That's all Gabe Davis does is the big catches. He just doesn't make
Yeah.
the average ones or anything else.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he had a couple drops in that game too.
Yeah.
Mike, you were right about your Eagles, man.
I was right when I first came on your show.
Yeah.
Joe, when did I come on? Whenever I came on the show, I think it was after the San Diego game. Not the Chargers game when the Eagles lost on Monday Night Football. I think that was the night I came on, that night. But I just thought they were going to do better. I got bullish because I thought Lane Johnson was going to come back.
Yeah.
Adams, I lost all respect for Schefter. I mean, he said 2 weeks ago he could have played. He was dead wrong on that.
Yeah, that was the late report on Saturday that he was going to play.
Yeah,
right?
Schefter said 2 weeks ago he could have played.
Yeah.
And he had a week, and he took a week off, but they sat everybody in the last game.
It was just a couple hours before game time that Schefter was reporting that he was playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just was a blunder. And the defense, everybody was healthy. And I thought San Francisco losing like they did to Seattle the last game to lose all their home field advantage they could have had coming east. But my hat's off to that shows you what coaching. I mean, Kyle Shanahan can make Juszczyk look like, he can make a fullback look like an all-pro tight end, and Sirianni makes a wide receiver look like a fullback. I mean, Salad just outclassed. He just outclassed us. I mean, they were undermanned defensively and offensively especially when Kittle went out early. But I had a feel, it's right off this jump. I mean, I thought it was Montana to the right when it was, but B-Rob Court, I was like, who's that guy?
Yeah. I mean,
Robinson's
been good. Like he's shown flashes,
Yeah, but he's been a journeyman his whole career. He's 31 years old. And he beat, Quinyon. You said Mitchell had 2 interceptions, but he was beat on both plays with the Robinson. So it was, and they got outcoached. The whole way through. It was Shanahan was a pure genius. I mean, my hat's off to him. And the last play of the game, I mean, you know how many guys said against that defense, because you saw when Hurts went over the sideline, the timeout, he was looking at like Sirianni and Patul, like what was the play? He was confused, basically, what you're calling this. And I think 3 or 4 analysts said that was the worst play you could have run against that defense. So, I mean, I don't know what was in their heads, but you know what? They deserve to lose. I felt it in the third quarter. One thing that nobody really touched on, the Eagles had in the first half, they had 2nd and 2 on the San Francisco's 48. They turned it over on downs. Starting the third quarter, they had 2nd and 2. They went 3 and out. Last year with Kellen Moore, they would have ran 2 touch pushes, automatic. Take the percentage. They didn't even think about that. They didn't even. So that shows you the big difference in coaching. I mean, because San Francisco, if they win this week, like I was saying we were talking before the show, that would be some coaching job because no Kittle. I mean, that's the heart of their team. Even though they're getting some guys back, I mean, they played going up and back from the West Coast to East Coast. The rested tough Seattle team, especially defensively, should be interesting. But I won't count them out.
Yeah, McCaffrey makes a hell of a catch in the end zone, and then A.J. Brown has a couple big drops. I don't know what's up with Jalen Hurts, though. Like, he doesn't really run anymore. Like, that used to be a huge part of their offense. He doesn't run, and he doesn't look as explosive as he used to either. I don't know if he's got like injuries that are still lagging. He just doesn't seem like he cares to run.
You're right.
It's weird. And Patullo stinks. I mean, his offense is just brutal to watch. I mean, Kellen Moore was a huge loss, just like 2 years ago when they lost Steichen. It was the same thing.
But I was saying before. With the press conference at the end of the year with Roseman and Sirianni, the indication seems with Roseman was talking about Sirianni being the great coach. He's elite. He's like the CEO type. They're going to go after a name like a Dable or a McDaniel or Stefanski if he's going to be available. They're going to go after a name, a guy they can give just throw it like they do with Fangio. Here, the offense is yours. So I'm looking forward. That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting is sticking McDaniel coming to Philadelphia. I don't know if that's going to be fun. If that happens, that's going to be fun every week. Him talking to him in Philadelphia, it's kind of like oil. It looks like oil and water, man.
That means Saquon may catch like 400 balls next year.
He might. It'll be interesting. He might be. He was successful as an OC in Frisco.
Yeah.
So
by the way, Mike, do you see this message? I'm coming for you in the one and done league from Jacob Childers.
That's my stepson. I think he's in second place in our one and done playoff league. He's right behind you, Michael.
Right behind me?
Yeah.
God bless. What kind of jersey is he wearing?
Bengals jersey, baby.
Is
got his Burrow jersey
on. It's
on.
a Burrow right there.
Okay.
It's a Burrow. Shout out to Gunnar Watts. He just subbed to the channel.
Good luck. He can come from me.
Appreciate you, Gunnar, for subbing. And then Jacob says Josh needs to hang up his Zach Taylor poster he got for Christmas. Now you use it for a dartboard. That's all.
There you go. That's more like it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, all the games were good. I mean, those two games, the Bears, Packers, Caleb Williams, again, is it the same script every single freaking time? The Bears stink in the first half. They come back in the second half. Ben Johnson gets his, he starts calling incredible play calls, and they get the late touchdown. And Jordan Love, again, hard to trust, kind of like inconsistent. There were some drops by the receivers too, but the Bears just keep winning like this. We'll see if they can keep it going against the Rams. And the Rams are a different beast with Stafford and those guys. So that's going to be an interesting game. We'll touch on that. Yeah, Allen and the Bills get it done. Like Joe said, Lawrence, he showed some of his immaturity, kind of what we've been seeing from Lawrence in the past in that game, throwing a couple picks. And he could have had a couple others too. And the Jags were running the ball well. I don't know why they didn't run it even more. They ran for 7 yards per carry. Tootin seemed like he was being hard to take down. I don't know why they went away from him either. Probably should have kept feeding him a little bit more too. And ETN had a good game. The Chargers, Patriots, I mean, it was a close game for a little while, 6-3 at half. And then, the Chargers offense just couldn't do anything. I mean, Herbert didn't really play well, but he also had no time. Either they couldn't run the ball. Patriots, got the touchdown when they needed. May turned it over a couple times, but still, got the job done. Much tougher task against the Texans. And then, Panthers Rams was a great game to start it off. Panthers really could have won that game, like Joe said. Just Stafford and Cole, they just turned it up when they needed to. And then Mike touched on the Eagles 49ers. So let's get into the first game of the weekend. This time it's going to be the Bills. Go ahead.
Before we move on, Steve, we got to talk about our prop record from last week. Josh, why don't you go over those numbers for us?
All right. So we did. We had 6 games. There were 6 of us. Each one of us did 1 leg per game. So that was a total of 36 props on the weekend, and we hit on 20 of them. I didn't do the stats on how many of them just missed. But we were close. Me, Joe, Michael, and Steve, each one of us was 3-3 on our picks. And Dan and Joey, they must be out celebrating tonight that both of them were 4-6 or 4-2 on their 6 picks each. So we'll keep it rolling right into this weekend, and I'll keep track of them. We'll see who pulls away, and hopefully we'll hit a game or two.
Yeah, 55% for the wild card round. We'll take it. We'll try to improve on that a little bit more this week. We'll see what we got. So let's start with it. Bills Broncos to open us up Saturday. afternoon at 4:30 in Denver. And the spread is Denver -1. The total is 46. Real quick on the weather here. It just looks like mild temperatures, winds under 10 miles an hour, no precipitation. So, yeah, should be fine. Josh Allen is used to playing in the altitude. He played in Wyoming. He's from California, so I'm sure he's been to the mountains plenty in his life. But Mike, I'll start with you on this game. Who do you like, and what picks or props do you got in this game?
Who do I like? Can you go to one of the other guys? Give me 1 second.
Okay, let's go with you, Josh. Let's start with you.
Give me 1 second.
All right.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
I hate picking against Josh Allen because when the dude's healthy, he's just about unstoppable. But I think I lean towards Denver's D, and the fact that you can run on Buffalo. If Buffalo doesn't fix whatever the Jaguars were doing to him in the run game. I think ETN's over-under was like 82.5 rushing yards last week, and he was at like 71 or 72 at the end of the first quarter. So if Sean Payton wants to capitalize on that, I look for RJ Harvey to have a pretty good day on the ground. So I like Harvey's over on his rushing yards of 55.5. I think it's going to be a really tough game. I'm not sure that I agree with the depending on if you're looking at DraftKings or FanDuel. FanDuel has it at 46.5 and DraftKings has it 45.5. I could see that one being hitting the under, but I don't like to root for unders. We want fantasy points, and I need them to get back in these contests.
Okay, and who'd you like for the game? You take the Bills are going to win this one.
Man, I'm gonna go with Denver just because of their defense, and Josh Allen. Josh Allen's banged up. That offense is banged up. They're going to have to figure out how to move the ball without him getting killed. But I'm going to go with Denver.
Okay, Joe, what do you got, man?
I like the Bills in this game. I think they pull it off. I think it's going to be. I think it could turn into a little bit of a shootout. Broncos. I could see Josh Allen. The Broncos D, I think, is slightly overrated. Is as solid as they've been. I mean, they're really solid against the run. They're number one against running backs and fantasy points. But I think that they're beatable through the air. I think Josh Allen finds a way to get it done. I think he utilizes both tight ends. The running backs, they give up passing. The running backs coming out of the backfield. Denver is giving up 6 receiving touchdowns to running backs. So I think Ty Johnson comes into play here. I like him. I actually like him for an anytime touchdown. I didn't look into his receiving props, his receptions, and his yards, but I do think that it's possible he gets a receiving touchdown here.
Yeah, he had that crazy touchdown in their playoff game last year. I remember he caught it like in the back of the end zone with his feet up, and his like knees were down, whatever that crazy ass catch he had.
Buffalo, yeah, I do. But Buffalo doesn't have an alpha wide receiver, but they have enough pieces for Josh Allen to get it done here, I think. I also like, Denver's 17th against tight ends, giving up fantasy points. So I like Kincaid as well. I think that you're finally going to see a high volume game out of Kincaid. I actually teased up his receiving yards to 50. I like his 50 plus receiving yards at plus 178 odds right now on DraftKings. And I like Ty Johnson anytime touchdown. I think Buffalo gets it done.
You think Ty? They're going to clear Ty to play this week.
Limited practice today. I think he kind of did similar last week. He could be ruled out, but sounds like he's
play. I mean, he can be a difference maker for sure. I agree with that.
They need him. I mean, he's always been a good weapon for them out of the backfield. And Ray Davis just doesn't seem like he has that, that receiving ability that Ty Johnson has.
And on the Denver side of the ball, like you mentioned last week, Steve, I don't know why the Jacksonville Jaguars went away from running the football. They were running pretty effectively. I like RJ Harvey's longest rush, 15 plus yards at right now. That it's at plus 122 odds. I would put that in now because I have a feeling that line is going to move to a minus at some point between now and Sunday.
Oh yeah, the lines change fast.
Both Jaguars running backs hit their longest rush mark. Both Tootin and ETN both went over, had a rush for over 20 yards. So I could see this one hitting as well. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think Buffalo is going to be able to score points. It's going to lead to Denver scoring points. I think you could see a little bit of a shootout. I like Buffalo to win. I'm going to say they, if I had to give a score, we'll say 34 to 28 Buffalo.
All right. Jacob Childers says the Bills score more than 17 points, they will win. There is actually a stat on that I saw earlier regarding Bo Nix. I don't know if you guys saw that yet. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Did I take a screenshot? Oh yeah, Bo Nix is 1-8 versus winning teams that score more than 17 points. So there you go.
Wow,
Jacob brings up a good point. Jacob says, what was up with Ty Johnson being a healthy scratch last week? I imagine after losing Shavers, Davis, he plays, but that was weird. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to try to get out there for sure and be another receiving weapon. And shout out to Steve back joining us tonight. He says, you didn't see the wide receiver one, Brandon Cooks. Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, Brandon Cooks is like, he's making plays again. He's kind of reviving his career a little bit, making some big catches. So
didn't Shakir have 12 receptions?
Yeah, Shakir had a big game, but Cooks had that big catch, I think, early in the game down the field. But yeah, no, Shakir was the guy for sure last week. And then Cooks's prop is not that bad. I think it's 25.5. I think Joey actually likes that.
Yeah.
Right? Is that his prop?
That's his prop.
Is it 25.5?
Yep, over 25, and he's got him over 25.5 receiving yards.
All right.
Let me double check that. Make sure it's what.
All right, Mike, you ready to rock on this game?
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, looking at the game, I'm surprised the total's pretty high. Like, what, 46? Right?
46, yep.
I think it goes over.
Yeah, 40. Yeah, I mean, Denver's minus what? I mean, I could see Josh Allen pulling this out. I mean, it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a tight game. But I don't know. Usually going in. I mean, they came off a tough win against Jacksonville, and going into Denver. I don't know, but the total tells me though. What I like in the prop is I like the over the receptions, 4.5 for Cortland Sutton. In the month of December, he's got 42 targets and 23 catches. The total tells me it's going to be a high scoring game. I think he reaches that easy. Also, I think he does goes over to 55.5 receiving yards. Also, I think that's minus 120. I think you're getting like 108 on the over receptions. I like both those plays. It's going to be Vegas is telling you it's going to be a high scoring game. I mean, even though people talk about Denver's defense and their secondary.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Vegas is stupid. I mean,
last time I checked, they aren't.
They are stupid. So I think Sutton will reach both of those pretty easily.
All right. Yeah, the Broncos had 0 games against top 5 offenses by points per game this season. And the Bills are averaging 28 points per game and are 13-0 when they score 23 points or more. So, yeah, the total actually looks like it dropped a point from the open. It was 47 and it dropped down to 46. Obviously, that might shift up again towards game time. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at the Broncos schedule and, just going over some of these Bo Nix stats and stuff like that. And it kind of just, shirted up for me even more. But just looking at their schedule, I mean, I just wasn't really that impressed. I mean, they beat Tennessee. They lost to the Colts. They lost to the Chargers. They beat Flacco and the Bengals, or maybe it wasn't even Flacco at that time. Maybe it was Burrow still, or maybe Burrow got hurt in that game. I don't know if you remember, Josh.
It was
or was that Browning? Browning.
Browning.
Yeah, there you go. They played the Texans.
It was the lowest of the lows.
They beat the Texans, but Stroud got hurt in that game. That was Davis Mills in that game. They almost lost to the Commanders with Mariota. They played a tough game with the Raiders, 24-17. They allowed Trevor Lawrence to put up 34 on them. Jordan Love put up 26 on them. So I don't know. I just think they're a little, and the Giants almost beat them. That game was 33-32. And how many games did we see where Bo Nix is just like struggling, a little bit like Caleb, and then he comes out in the second half or at the end of the game and he plays better. He certainly did that in that Giants game. But I don't know. Like, I feel like Peyton's got to he's like a surgeon with Nix. Like, he's got to dial up all these play action rollouts to the fullback, and he's play action, like the fullback's running the same way. It's like, he's got everybody running the same way, and then he's just reading the progressions, but credit to Nix. He's definitely made some big throws this year, and he's done that in his career downfield as well. But, overall, he's kind of been inconsistent, for the most part this year. Jekyll and Hyde a little bit. And I don't think he could do that against Josh Allen, the Bills. Now, Bills are down Shavers again. They're down Gabe Davis. But it sounds like Curtis Samuel's going to come back. I think he had a big game in the playoff game last year.
He did. He had a touchdown.
Yeah.
He did have a touchdown.
Curtis Samuel's coming back? What happened?
Yeah, I think he's going to be back healthy this week. So that's big.
He played.
Will he be in shape? Will he be in shape though?
He hasn't played. He hasn't played since week 8, I don't think.
Right. He hasn't played.
He's always hurt. We all know Curtis Samuel's been hurt throughout his career. But Brandon Beane signing 19,000 receivers. He's got all these different random journeymen coming back. But Joe pointed out that the tight end matchup is good for Kincaid. So I do think Kincaid could step up here. Broncos 20th against tight ends. Warren had 79 yards against them. Gatson had 46 yards. Bellinger had 88. Theo Johnson had 66. They both scored touchdowns. Schultz had 77. Kelsey had 91. Zach Ertz had 106. So, yeah, this really sets up for Kincaid here, I think. This is Kincaid's game to shine, or even Dawson Knox. You can kind of target both. Yeah, you can kind of target both. And, maybe even Jackson Hawes. We've seen him catch some touchdowns this year, too. Maybe he's open, maybe for an anytime touchdown if you could find that on a book. So, yeah, I just think, in the Broncos started off that game last year with the touchdown and the Bills blew them out. And I just think McDermott can slow down this offense enough. And I think that Allen and the Bills, with limited weapons, they're still they're making the right calls. They're flowing. Their offense has always kind of been flowing, except for those 2 games against the Eagles and the Texans. There was a couple other games, but those 2 games specifically where they were just really, really, truly shut down for the most part. So I think the Broncos defense is a little overrated. I don't think the Broncos are a true 1 seed. So I do like the Bills to get the W here. I'll take them with the points. I'm not going to mess with the total. And then the props that I have in this game, I'm going to go Allen anytime again, minus 130. Last week was like a gift in a 52 total. It was like minus 115. It moved up at halftime. Before the game. Then Allen rushing yards over 36.5. The Broncos have been allowing a good amount of rushing yards to quarterbacks. Mariota ran for 55 yards against them. So yeah, I like that as well. And I'm going to take Kincaid over 35.5. receiving yards. If I had to pick, the over under, I'd probably lean towards the under. And then I'm going to go with Harvey over 56.5 rushing yards too. I just think that he's going to want to rely on the run game. I think he's going to see what the Jags were doing last week and what the Bills have been doing all this year. Try to keep Allen off the field. Peyton, I think, is smart. I think Harvey will have a pretty good game. He could break a big run early, maybe in this game. It's kind of a trendy, kind of too popular pick. I don't really want to go with it, but I'll throw it out there. But for the pod's sake, I'll go with Allen. And for the parlay, I'll go with Allen rushing yards over 36.5. Actually, you know what? I'll just take the Bills. Forget about it. Just give me the Bills.
Let's do the Bills.
Yeah, that's better. All right. Anything else to add on this game before we move on?
Yes, I think Sean Payton might piss down his leg as well. and the fourth quarter, like you know how he makes those what the hell kind of play call is that? Now the game's over. Josh Allen's in victory formation. Yeah. I can see that.
How many fullback freaking play action rollouts can you do? I mean, come on, man. Like cover the fullback in the flat. I don't know, but Steve G says Bo Nix stinks. There you go.
He's inconsistent for sure.
I don't think he stinks. Like I think he's still kind of growing, but yeah, he's definitely kind of frustrating at times. And I do think that Peyton his system definitely helps him a little bit. But he has made some big throws for sure. He's made some nice throws down the field, the last 2 years. All right, next game. Let's go San Francisco at Seattle, 8:00 on Saturday night. We saw these two teams play for the division a couple weeks ago. Seattle dominated. Their defense dominated, winning 13-3. Darnold really didn't do too much. Darnold pops up on the injury report today with a oblique injury, but he's going to be out there. He said as much. There's no chance I'm not going to play in this game, basically. Right. So he'll be out there. JSN has been a monster all year. Kenny Walker and Charbonnet both had nice games in that matchup, and that's been kind of rare because those two guys have not really got it going in the same matchup all year. Cooper Kupp, maybe they scheme some things up for Shaheed here as well. San Francisco is going to be coming in without Kittle. CMC, again, incredible catch. What an athlete he is, over the top. Freaking just an unbelievable athlete, one of the best players we've seen in the NFL. Joe, I'll start with you here first. What do you got here?
All right.
By the way, I'm sorry. My spread is Niners getting 7, and the total is 45. Temperature in the upper 40s. Calm winds. No precipitation, which is good in Seattle.
Nice. So with the spread being 7, I'm probably going to leave that alone. I don't think I can. I'm leaning. I mean, if I had gun to head, I think I would take Seattle to cover that. But I'm definitely not comfortable with it. I do think Seattle wins this game. We look at the Week 1 game where they lost to San Fran. San Francisco dominated the time of possession in that 37 minutes to 22. Seattle only ran the ball, only had 26 rushing attempts in this game. Schaub's with 12 carries, Walker with only 10, so 22 carries between the two running backs. And it led to a loss. If you look at the Week 18 game, where I believe it was 13-3, Seattle won. The time of possession was flipped. Seattle actually had 37 minutes with the ball, and 49ers just 22. Brock Purdy had an interception, played very bad. Seattle's defense confused them and turned them into the shitty Brock Purdy, the shitty version of Brock Purdy. You look at the rushing attempts in this game, and Seattle had 39 rushing attempts, 16 for Walker, 17 for Schaub's. They ran the ball effectively. The 49ers' run defense has just been putrid and towards the end of the season. And I think they're gonna do some. Seattle's gonna come up with a pretty similar game plan. They're gonna try to run the ball and win the time of possession battle. you know, make it so Sam Darnold doesn't have to do too much. And I think with Kittle being out for San Fran and just how good Seattle's defense is, the front seven, the secondary all around, it's going to be tough for San Francisco to put up enough points to keep pace with Seattle. I think Seattle edges this one out. If I had to predict the score, I would say 20 to 13, 20 to 14. I think the spread's pretty dead on. Vegas got that one so that you don't know who to pick. My prop bets, Joey Brown took my Jake Tonges anytime touchdown when he reported his props because he wasn't coming in tonight for tonight's show. So Joey's prop is Tonges anytime touchdown. I'm just going to run it back with the same prop I picked last week, Brock Purdy, 2+ interceptions. That's at plus 281 right now. And, he had three games with 2 or more interceptions during the regular season. He did it last week and they survived. Maybe he does it again this week, but they're not going to survive. And I think that'll be the difference in the game for sure. So I'll run it back. Brock Purdy, 2+ interceptions. And that's pretty much my take on this game.
Yeah, the books are on that. The one interception is minus 175. Joe called that out last week. It did hit for 2 picks, and that hit. So he's going again. What do you have? What's the odds you have on that?
Plus 281 right now on DraftKings.
Oh my God, Hard Rock is just plus 130. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. My bad. I'm looking at no interceptions for Brock Purdy. I'm sorry. All right, that's good. Plus 285. Comment in the chat from Jacob says, was that Mac Jones led San Francisco team in week 7? I think week 1 they played, right?
They played in week 1.
Yeah, so that was Purdy. Steve G says, are we taking Jennings to throw another touchdown? Supposedly Jennings was like a big time quarterback. I believe in high school or college or something like that. Not in college, maybe in high school. So, I mean, guy's a playmaker for the Niners. He's going to have to make some more plays. Shout out to David Portet for subscribing to the channel. All right, good takes, Joe. Who wants to go next? Josh?
Yeah, I'll go. I pretty much fall in line with what Joe had said. My prop for this one went with an easy one. I think Charbonnet catches 2 passes. It's over 1.5 receptions. I think he gets it. I think they get it done there. I wonder a little bit about Darnold's injury. Do they try to keep things short, like Joe was saying? Use the running game, not use Darnold too much, and get him out of there without straining it any worse or hurting himself any worse. So if somehow the Niners pull this off, it will be an absolute just credit to Shanahan and Saleh, and then Lynch as well, with the team that they've built and put together, because guys just keep showing up and stepping up. I saw a crazy report about Pearsall. As bad as they need him, he's saying that he can't take a hit to his leg, that he's trying to learn how to play different because of whatever this knee injury is. I don't know. So I don't know if you can trust that he'll even play again this week, but with Kittle out, they need him. But it doesn't sound like he'll be anywhere close to 100%. Got
D-Rob. Got to step up and juice it. Kyle Justin.
Yeah. How about that guy?
I forgot to mention too. The Kenny Walker 14+ rushing attempts is at plus 109 odds right now. I think that's a pretty good bet to make.
Yeah, you'd have to think Seattle would want to lean on Walker a little bit. I mean, who knows though with their usage of Sharp? They're kind of like hot and cold with it. I mean, but yeah, I think they should have the lead. They're a 7-point favorite, so I kind of like that too. I like Kenny Walker a lot. I think he's got a little bit of a George Pickens syndrome, a little bit. But he's talented. I mean, he's just really, really talented. All right, Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, I like you meant. I like Seattle in the game, minus the 7. Not if I had to pick it. I just think this time, San Francisco's. I think Seattle's going to be much more prepared, playing them twice than the Eagles were. I mean, it was probably the first time I think really Fangio got outcoached. I mean, you talk about when Kittle goes down, and they don't have Pearsall. One thing I like to make just a comment on the game. My hat's off to Trent Williams. Trent Williams, bad answer. Phillips didn't even get on the box. Didn't even get in the box score. Nothing. I mean, he just put him out of the game. He was unbelievable. And he's like, how old is he? He's pretty old, isn't he?
You were at the game, Mike. Were you watching Trent Williams just body him up?
I just watched I watched a little bit, and you look at the box score. Did Phillips play? And they were talking about the afterward this week. Or free agents, are they going to maybe sign Phillips? I said, there's no way he's coming back. I mean, he was just invisible, and he just made the whole line was impressive, really. But I think Seattle, now they go in the game without Kittle. They got dominated on their home field when they had a chance to have the whole thing run through their stadium.
Right.
This is going to be tough. Like Josh said, Shanahan can pull this off. I mean, that's probably one of the best. Go down as the best. If he could get to the Super Bowl, it could be the best coaching job of all time. With what he has, I mean, like I said to you guys, I think D. Robbie's a journeyman. I mean, Jennings is good. Jennings is a good player, but I think they're going to. I think they're going to have their eye and contain McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey. I expected the Eagles to really contain him, and they did anything he wanted to. But my prop in the game is looking at it. I like you're talking about. I think it's easy. Over 58.5 yards, minus 120 on Kenny Walker. He had 97 the last time they played him. 6.1 a carry. He looks real good, and I think San Francisco's. I mean, they're going to have an uphill battle. Their defense has got to be. They're getting guys back, but even those guys are rusty. I mean, they're getting They're getting back the linebacker.
Warner's not coming back this week.
Not coming back this week. He was practicing
today. Yep.
Okay, so he's.
I think
they open up his window, but I don't think.
I think Seattle's good. I think they're going to take control with the running game early. I mean, I think Walker could do this in the first half. I think Joe's right about what the rushing attempts with Walker too. I mean, like I said,
that's at plus money now. So if you're going to bet the Russian attempts, you gotta lock that in.
Yeah, but I just think he's explosive. I think he get that in the first half.
Okay. By the way, 55% according to pregame.com, 55% of the cash is on the Bills. 63% of the tickets, and then this game, 58% of the cash is on the Niners, and then 53% of the tickets. So people are being enticed by that +7, especially after the Niners pulled off the upset against the Eagles. I did want to mention the Eagles burnt me now 4 times this year. I don't know why I keep going back to the freaking Eagles. I don't know. Fool me once. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me.
I should have never changed my mind. I said the Eagles. I should have stayed with it. My own convictions. They fooled me. Like I said, Wayne.
That's okay, Mike. It's hard when it's your home team. It's hard.
No, I don't have an issue. I was.
No, I know, but
I was right. And you
just buy. Sometimes you can just buy into a team that's got the talent, all the superstars, and they win ugly, and you're like, when it clicks, they're just waiting for the playoffs.
Yeah, they just weren't ready to go. It wasn't a surprise. I mean, I wasn't mad coming out of that state. I was the way it happened. I was just perplexed how pathetic the coaching could be. I mean, but San Francisco. Look, I think Seattle's going to be ready. It's a tough place to play in. But
yeah,
who knows? Shanahan and Salah. It's been a good duo in the past. They were good last week. They have the experience. They have the experience in the coaching area over Seattle. So that's another thing that can pull San Francisco through it. But I think the money's going on them because San Francisco has a huge, besides Dallas, and they're right up there with Pittsburgh in terms of a national fan base. A lot of Frisco fans, they travel everywhere. I guess it's back from the Joe Montana, Jerry Rice days. But they just have a big national following. That's probably why you see the money going on there.
Yeah, and I think everybody's looking at last week. I think people are buying, and then the spread's high. I think when my brother texted us after the game, he goes, "Guess the line," and I think I said like 4.5, 5. So, 7 does seem kind of high, but. I think that's why people are enticed. But Purdy's 5-2 in the playoffs. Darnold's 0-1. Darnold has never won a playoff game. He's still got to prove to us that he can win a big game. But I do think with their defense, McDonald, this is more of a legit 1 seed than the Broncos, I believe. The Seahawks, I think they're a better team, a tougher team. So the 7 is tough, but I think I'm gonna take Seattle here minus the 7. Just like it's nothing crazy. I don't really have a strong feeling on it, but I just feel like Darnold with a week off, kind of get his head together. He's gonna be at home. They're gonna, the Niners defense has not been good all year. I feel like they can really attack this defense. I think they'll score more points in that first matchup. I could see him scoring like 24, 27 in this one. And I just feel like Purdy is going to, like Joe's been on the interceptions. I feel like we're going to see 1 or 2 turnovers from Purdy in this game, maybe a fumble. And I think Seattle is going to make some big plays on defense, and maybe in the return game with Shaheed as well. And I think they're going to dial up some things for Shaheed in this game too. So that's where my props are going to go. I'm going to everybody's going to probably bet on JSN, and I'm a Shaheed truther. He was like my most owned receiver in fantasy for like the last 2 or 3 years. And he's not paying dividends because he's like either getting hurt or he's getting shifted to different teams. And, there's always something going on with him, but I think you may see a breakout year from this guy eventually. But the one prop here for Shaheed is over half rushing yards. I could see them definitely giving him a carry or 2 in this game. Over 1.5 catches. That's kind of juiced up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to parlay it's going to be a Rashid Shaheed parlay. So the over a half rushing yards, over 1.5 catches, and over 24.5 receiving yards against the San Francisco defense. And then, I'll kind of lean towards Seattle, but I'll take Seattle minus the 7 as well. Any thoughts on the total in this game?
I think it goes under. And that's why I'm if I had to pick, I would lean taking the 7 points. But
yeah.
Real quick question: what do you think? What do you think? Curiosity. Cooper Kupp, is he a veteran guy? Been in the playoffs? I mean, is he gonna? Do you think he? Is
30.5 receiving yards?
Yeah, I mean, 32.5%. You think
minus 140?
They're probably going to involve him. I mean. Here's a big time game where he's got the experience really, and
I'd like to see the freaking Kenny. How about Kenny Walker over 13.5 receiving yards? Like give him like 3-4 screens, he'll get that freaking get that at one play.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. So I think they should be getting him involved way more in the passing game personally. Just because you get him out in the open, that's that's what he likes. That's what he's always trying to do when he's running the ball. He's trying to break it to the outside. That's what he likes to do. So that's one I may target as well. But all right, anybody got anything else here?
Want to shout out Pete in the chat.
Pete's here. Yeah, shout out Pete for.
I had to put on the Bruins hoodie, man, because they retired Zdeno Chara's number tonight. Shout out Big Z. Got us a Stanley Cup back in 2011, so that was nice to see. It was a good ceremony.
Pete can't even spell my name right. It's not PH, it's V. But shout out to Pete saying I'm setting the mood with the lighting. Yeah, well, maybe a little boom boom after the game. We'll see. And he did repost the stream, so I appreciate that, Joe, Pete. All right. Anything else here before we move on?
Shahid doesn't always show up on the with the fantasy points, but he shifts the field with his punt returns. I mean, he's fun. He's fun to watch anytime he's on the field. That's for sure.
I think with the week off, like they should scheme like at least like a reverse or something to him. Yeah. A couple of more screens, like So, but they may really rely on their run game again too here, and just JSN kind of do what they've done all year. So, we'll see. I just think they may want to try some things here and see if it works, and then advance that into the next round if they get there. So that's why I'm going to go with Shahid. But again, I'm a little bit biased on the Shahid, so I got a Rashid Shahid parlay. But you want to have some fun with these sometimes too. So, all right, let's get it.
How about quickly? Anybody got any opinion on what Barner this game? He's been.
I think he might get. I think he gets game scripted out, Mike, because we're talking about how the rushing attempt we're gonna see a lot of running. They had 39 rushing attempts.
Goddard was the only bright spot for the Eagles last week,
and I could see Bonner being on the line more, and if Cooper Kupp is going to hit his 30.5 receiving yards, it's going to come at the expense of Bonner, in my opinion. The passing attempts are going to be limited as long as they're winning. Unless San Francisco builds a lead somehow, I just don't see how AJ Bonner becomes a difference. Yeah.
So. Both teams actually do allow a good amount of points to the tight ends. Seattle has allowed 1,040, fourth worst, most yards to tight ends, and the Niners are 24th against tight ends. So, maybe Barner could do something here.
He's been steady down the stretch, and he's had some.
Yeah, it's true. 4 for 49, 3 for 43, touchdown. And then last game against the Niners, he had 2 for 14. So his prop here is 31.5. His anytime touchdown is plus 165. So not that great, but
that's not great at all. It's something better than that.
Yeah. How about Jake Bobo plus 2250?
Bobo hasn't shown up in a while. This is when he shows up.
Is he a product of Tennessee? He's a Tennessee guy, right? Big Bobo.
Is he from Tennessee? I don't even know.
The Tennessee call it. He played in Tennessee, I think.
No, he played for Duke and UCLA.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
He's from Massachusetts, though, Joe. North Andover.
Oh shit, North Andover. That's not too far away. It's in the Merrimack Valley, right.
He went to Belmont Hill School.
Nice. That's a big hockey school. My cousin's husband played hockey there, and I don't know if you know the goalie Mike Condon. Played for the. I think he's a backup goalie, or he played on the Canadians. He might be on the Fly. Is he on the Flyers, Mike?
Who?
Is that name Mike Condon, goalie?
Doesn't ring a bell.
The last time I knew all the hockey players was NHL 95, I think, for Genesis.
Nice. Belmont Hill's a big hockey school.
That was my era of hockey.
Oh, that was great, man. That game was great. Theo Fleury, I used to play with the Calgary Flames. Who the heck is Robbie Oots? I don't know, plus 2250, whoever that is. But anyway, all right. So I think that about does it for this game. Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers. Big pickup for them. The Dodgers continue.
Really? That just happened?
Yeah, I guess so.
And
as if they needed him.
This is you have to play a season? What position?
I don't think his numbers were that good last year because the Yankees were talking about signing him. I don't know if his numbers were that good.
He's a really good player, though.
I know.
I know he's
that lineup. Jeez.
That's the other thing I fell off, and I used to play fantasy baseball. I dropped that 2 years ago. So when you drop fantasy baseball, you lose your knowledge quick, because there's so many different guys that come up. But I still have a good remembrance of a decent amount of guys. But Steve G says he likes Barner. Joey says Darnold hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in the 2 games against the Niners. Good stat there, Joe. So maybe Salah's got Darnold's number a little bit. Or maybe just Salah stares down Darnold and he gets a little shook on the sidelines. Who knows?
Maybe.
All right. Let's move on here. Let's go to Sunday. Sunday at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, rather. My bad. 3 and 6. Texans at the Patriots. I mean, this is a hell of a game, for sure. I just want to see what this line opened at. It opened at Texans +2. Now it's 3.5, depending on where you're looking. 63% of the cash is on the Patriots. 50-50 on the tickets. But the big money is on the Patriots right now. So, and then the total in this game is 40.5. It opened at 42. Weather here, temps should be around freezing, likely a degree or 2 above freezing by kickoff, slightly below freezing by the end of the game, a snow flurry or even a snow shower. But I'm not expecting impactful amounts of snow. Winds stay fairly light. Wind about 10 miles an hour. All in all, it might not be perfect weather, but it's good enough not to cause any major issues. This is from Roto Grinders. Kevin Roth does the free reports there. If you guys ever want to check out the weather, he usually, I think, gives like one more update before the games. I think there's a premium package to get like one other update, but this is good enough, I think. All right, Mike, do you want me to start with you on this one, or you want me to go over to Josh?
Yeah, I can go.
All right. What do you got?
My first glance, I can't tell you. The game is. If I had to pick a side, with the spread, I would take Houston. But I'm not. I don't have a major conviction on it. I lean towards the under, but let me go to my prop bet. I told you guys I'm gonna, just go with it again. Butte over 31.5 yards. He got the 29.5 yards easily last week. I think he's going to do it again.
Easy, R. Kelly.
Easy. I said we're going to go with a little Butte. But
we're talking cold weather and booty, and the Russian chicks are going to pop in the can again.
I think he's a super talented player. I mean, they took the handcuffs off him this year. They gave him an opportunity. They're going to need him. I think he can, he's explosive plays. And I think he'll do it easily. I mean, if the Patriots are going to win, they're going to need to throw the ball downfield because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, tough sweating, running the ball. And their defense is pretty stout, on the in the short yard. They're going to have to make some big plays down the field.
Yeah, no, he looks good for sure. And he was like a big time prospect at LSU, and he kind of fell off.
I forget what the issues were.
Yeah, maybe he had some off the field issues.
He had a big freshman year. That was just after losing all the talent. They lost all the Chase and what have you.
Because he wasn't like touted to be like a first round pick at some point.
Yeah.
So,
he's got that type of talent.
Well,
last week they're going to need to make those down the field plays. Diggs obviously, I don't know how he's going to do this week. The type of routes he run, that's going to be tough sledding for him. They're a physical team. He's going to, in those short routes. So they're going to have to, stretch the ball down the field. The interesting thing in this game, I was surprised the way, I guess, especially in the second half, the way Houston got their running game going against Pittsburgh. Marks looked the best I've seen him.
That was definitely the best.
That was a surprise.
He looked like he gave it like a little extra effort in that game.
Yeah, it looked like he was a different. He got had his mojo going, and but Williams came back, for the Patriots last week, and he pretty much shut down that whole. Even obviously without Hampton, they completely shut down that running attack from the Chargers, which is obviously a key factor in the Harbaugh offense. But I think the game's going to be close. I hope, for Joe's sake, I hope the Patriots win. Because I think I like May. I think he's a hell of a quarterback, and I think he's going to step up. I don't think the bright lights are going to affect him at all this week.
Yeah, I was reading something. Drake May, his brother played college basketball for North Carolina. I don't know if you guys remember him, Luke May. He was pretty good in college. Yeah, Luke May was really good. But I was reading something like in high school, like some of the athletes, they would train all year to play basketball, and May was playing football, and he would come in like, no practice or whatever, and he would just dominate. That just shows he's just one of those all sport athletes. It's just, and you see that from him when he plays. He just looks so smooth. He looks confident. That throw to Hunter Henry was big time over Derwin James. You could tell Derwin James is like, he's like one of the best safeties in the league. So like when he didn't make that play, he was just like, all right, now we're in deep trouble. All right, let's move on to Josh. What do you got here, man?
Well, since the Bengals are terrible, the Patriots are have become my second favorite AFC team, and it's really between them and the Bills. So I'm hoping for a Bills-Patriots AFC Championship game. Houston D's so tough, but I think coming to New England, playing in the cold, I think New England's well coached, and I think that they pull it. I think they pull it out. I think it'll be a close game. If they can get pressure on Stroud can make mistakes. We see that he gets rattled pretty easy if you get pressure on him. So, I think maybe they try to dial up a little bit of pressure and get to him. And but for my prop, I'm going back to where I was last week. Same line again. Ramondre Stevenson over 2.5 receptions. He's starting to look like a pretty good receiving back. So I say they go right back to him this week. It's probably going to be a little bit tough to run the ball against Houston. So I don't know. Is this a little bit of a revenge game for Diggs this week against the Texans? He played with them last year. So
we saw what he did.
Does he get a little extra juice this week since he didn't show up last week?
We saw what he did in that first game against the Bills. He was geeked on something in that game. He was on something for sure in that game because he played lights out. Like it was like the freaking most important game he ever played in his life.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'll have that much. It's playoffs, and you're right. Maybe he just comes out and he's completely souped up for this one too. So
it was using them 1970s PEDs. Yeah.
Think he is affected with his off the field issues? Does that have any effect on his play? You think?
You never know. You never know how it affects anybody. But Texans are number one against receivers, against fantasy receivers. They have their corner. We saw what that guy Bullock did. He's a playmaker. And you throw in Stingley and Lashley. Did you see Aaron Rodgers? They showed the clip where he basically I guess he tried to tackle him with his hurt wrist. So basically Bullock just pushed him out of the way. Rodgers didn't really even give a good attempt on it because I just think he was worried about the wrist. But it was like the last play of the year. He might as well just try to tackle the guy or take his legs out. I don't know. I guess Rodgers just didn't want to risk anything crazy. But he's a playmaker, that kid, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're physical with the wide receivers. You're going to catch it against them. You're going to take a beating.
My last bet that I placed before the game, I went in and I was like, I can see Houston D scoring a touchdown this game. And when I placed the bet and I looked and I was like, you know what? I'll just throw $5 I'll just throw $5 on him to score 2 touchdowns.
Oh, no way. You hit
that?
I hit that.
What'd you get on the odds? Must have got big odds.
Yeah, it was real big. I the $10 one got $80. That was for the first touchdown, and then it was plus 12,500. I had $5 on it, so
nice.
It was like 630 or 625, something like that's what it paid out. But that was a great ending to a good weekend of football.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that was crazy how they got that last touchdown like that. All right, Joe, you're Patriots, man. How you feeling here?
I'm actually feeling pretty good about this game. I think.
Oh, by the way, I should mention. Sorry, Joe. Collins did. I mean, Nico Collins. I don't think he's practiced yet, so that's huge. And then Christian Gonzalez, full practice today. You know, concussion protocol. You never know, but it looks like he may work his way back. That's obviously huge. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. I'm feeling pretty good about the Patriots' chances in this one. Excuse me. We got the home field advantage. I think we have the edge at quarterback. CJ Stroud's going on the road in a cold, hostile environment. His offensive line isn't the greatest. I could see the Patriots getting pressure on him, possibly forcing mistakes. I went back. Now I know there's a different Patriots team last year, but I actually watched last year's matchup where they played each other. Houston beat us up, but both teams turned the ball over left and right. So I think it's going to be a turnover battle. And I think the way the Patriots neutralize the defensive line for the Houston Texans is going to be in true Josh McDaniels fashion. He's gonna scheme up some dump offs to both running backs. I could see Trevion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson going up over the middle, over to the catching the delayed dump offs. I think they're going to be designed with blockers in front. They're going to do whatever they can to neutralize the defensive line. Talking about quick passes. Houston is susceptible to giving up yards to the tight end. So I think Hunter Henry gets a couple of key first downs to keep some drives moving. And that's kind of how I see the game playing out. I don't think it's going to be all that high scoring. I think it's going to be a lot of field goals for both teams. I could see, but I do see the Patriots offense being a little bit more effective than the Houston offense. I think Houston's offense is going to struggle a little bit in this one. Christian Gonzalez is trending towards playing, and they're going to be without Nico Collins. That's a kind of a double whammy in my eyes. You got Higgins and Noel to step up. They're rookies. Who knows if they're ready for this type of a game.
The Texans don't think they are because they haven't been given the playing time. I mean, they've been playing Xavier Hutchinson, and haven't really, and Christian Kirk. So,
right. Speaking of Xavier Hutchinson, we can mention Joey's prop. Right, that's what he had in there. What was the prop, Josh?
He's got over 25 receiving yards.
I like that. I actually like that. That's a good call, Joe.
That's his DFS special too.
My props in this game is I have a running back parlay, but just for our parlay, Josh, we'll go with the Woody Mox 15 plus receiving yards. It's at plus 145 odds right now on DraftKings. The Patriots give up some of the most fantasy points to running backs through the year. 84 receptions, 524 yards. So that the 84 receptions is fifth most out of all defenses against running backs. So could see Woody Mox easily hitting that 15-yard mark. I also like Trevion Henderson 15 plus receiving yards. That's at plus 182 odds. Now, I know Ramondre's been dominating the snaps as of late, and I do think he still outsnaps Henderson, but I think Henderson gets involved. Like I mentioned earlier, Josh McDaniels, when he goes up against real tough defensive lines. This goes for years back with the James Whites and the Dion Lewises. The list goes on and on. They scheme up dump offs. They scheme up plays where they get blocking in front of the running back, and they create a little bit of space, and they go over the top. And while the pass rush is coming in, they go right over the top of it, and it usually, leads to first downs and them sustaining a drive. They're going to lean on both running backs. This is why I like it to be not a shootout. I do think the Patriots go over 20 points. If I had to predict the score, I'm going to say Patriots 23-19, only because that 4-point differential will neutralize Fairbairn on a game-winning. If they have to have the ball last and they're trying to catch up against the Patriots, they're going to need a touchdown and not a field goal to save them, and I think that's going to be the difference in the game. And so I like the Patriots to cover the 3.5 points as of now. If it goes up any higher, I'm leaving that line alone. But that's kind of how I see this game playing out.
Okay. Yeah, Patriots 25th in sacks. 2.3 per game. So that's good for Stroud because obviously, he kind of struggles when he doesn't have the pressure, when he's under pressure a little bit more. No Nico is going to be huge. Jaden Higgins is going to have to step up. We'll see if Nico makes his way back. It doesn't look good right now. Dalton Schultz is going to have to step up. Christian Kirk had a really big game last week. Like Joe mentioned, Jalen Noel is going to get some playing time. Joey likes the Xavier Hutchinson prop. But yeah, I don't know. I was surprised when I was looking at the bets on this game. I thought there would be more bets on the Texans, but 69% of the cash, I'm sorry, that's on the total. 63% of the cash is on the Patriots and 37% is on the Texans. But the tickets are 50-50 here. Again, pregame.com. So I think I like the Texans. Again, I took, this might be a little bit of bias here for me. Obviously, I'm a New York guy. I don't like the Patriots. And the only Boston team I ever rooted for was the Celtics. I love the freaking Garnett, Paul Pierce teams. I was in love with those teams, man. I liked Ray Allen. I loved Garnett. I just love that team they put together.
That was the last time I was a Celtics fan.
Yeah.
I can't stand them now. I hate Tatum. So
the point guard was
Rondo.
Love Rondo.
Yeah,
he was an incredible point guard.
Rondo was great.
And I don't really mind the Patriots. I like Vrabel a lot. I like watching May. I just think Texans and this defense, and we saw May have a couple turnovers last week. His defense really gave him a lot of chances. Now, that could be a similar case here against Stroud. Stroud could definitely just produce a bunch of 3-and-outs. Their running game really hasn't been good all year long. We saw Milton Williams return and Spillane's return did last week. Milton Williams looked like a beast last week, stopping that Chargers. So I don't know if the Texans are really going to be able to run the ball. And then you got no Nico. So yeah, I think I kind of lean to the under as well. But I do like the Texans. If you're going to give me 3.5, I think that may shift down to 3, maybe at game time a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to take the 3.5. I'll take more than the field goal. Both teams have good kickers. Fairbairn's a good kicker. Bergalis has been pretty good of late. So I think I'm going to take the Texans and I'll lean under there. And then for the prop, I kind of wanted to move away from Dalton Schultz because he seems like the most obvious guy to utilize here. So what I'll do is I'll throw in Jalen Noel over 8.5 receiving yards. We did see him have a couple big games early in the year when they had some injuries. When he stepped up, I think it was 1 or 2 big games. He had that one monster game. And, Gonzalez may be on Higgins and, maybe locking him up a little bit. So maybe Noel gets a bit more playing time if Nico's not there. Now, if Nico plays, I'll probably scratch that and I'll default to the Schultz receptions over 4.5 minus 135. All right. Joey says, I hope New England scores plenty. That way the Houston D loses double points for those that use them in the NFFC contest. That was me, Joe. I use them in both, so that's why I'm up there a little bit. Joe also said Stroud is careless with the ball, like he was in Pittsburgh. New England wins this game. Yeah, he didn't play well.
Good point. Yeah, he
May did have a couple turnovers too, though. So now he gets a bigger test on D. So we'll see how that plays out. And then Steve G says Gonzalez doesn't play. This will be a different game. I 100% agree with that. And Steve G says he still has his Larry Bird poster. So shout out to the Boston Celtics there. And Steve G. All right. One more game to go before we get out of here. And it is going to be between the Bears and the Rams. Sunday night, 6:30. Rams favored by 4. Total is 48.5. The line opened at 4. It stayed. I think I see 3.5 in some spots.
Yeah,
and
some 3.5.
Yeah, and the total started at 51 and it dropped down to 48.5, which is kind of surprising because
has to do with the weather, I bet.
Let me check the weather here on this game
No.
real quick. A lot to discuss here, according to Kevin Roth. But we should start with this. It is really, really cold. Actual temperature should be in the teens, which feels like temperatures likely in the single digits. While cold doesn't impact scoring as much as something like high wind, it does tend to correlate to lower scoring games, especially when the temperature is extreme. There's also some wind worth watching. Sustained 10 to 15 miles an hour with 20 to 25 an hour gusts. That course can change. But models are bringing in much stronger winds post-game. I'll keep an eye on the forecast to make sure the post-game wind doesn't become an in-game wind. For now, I don't consider winds to be a major problem. Maybe a bit of an issue on longer field goals. Lastly, there is a chance for some snow. I don't think it's a lot of snow, but a snow shower flurry is possible. To sum it up, the cold is a little bit impactful. The wind is a little impactful. The snow could be a little impactful. And the sum of all those little issues could bump down to offense and special teams. I don't know if that warrants 3-point shift, though. I mean, that's a big shift on the total. Yeah. And I feel like I'll get into my take later, but I just feel like the Rams are going to be able to do a lot here against this Bears defense. But Joe, I'll start with you on this game. What do you like?
I'm with you on this one. I think the Rams are going to be able to throw the ball downfield pretty easily. Chicago is near the back of the list when it comes to fantasy points against the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. I think you factor in Devontae Adams, another week healthier. Puka Nacua has been an absolute menace. The tight ends getting involved. Matt Stafford, last week I had him for 3+ touchdowns. He got that done. I'm running that one back as well. Right now it's at plus 139. I do think that total, the total seems about right, 48-51 in that range. I could see, Chicago's been the second half team. The Rams defense is solid, but they can be beat. They can give up points as well. So I see it being a fairly close game. But the Rams, Matt Stafford's going to be able to push the ball at will, and I don't think the Bears defense is going to do anything to stop it. Outside of a Matt Stafford injury, God forbid, because we almost saw it happen last week. He hit his hand, and I do think that it affected him a little bit, but not enough to derail the offense. So outside of Stafford getting knocked out of this game, the Rams should have no problem putting up enough points to win. Yeah, that's my prop for the Rams is Stafford. I mentioned that 3+ touchdowns plus 139 odds on DraftKings. And I actually like Caleb Williams 36+ passing attempts at plus 191. And if you want to go for 38+ as well, I don't hate it. The odds are plus 301. The odds jump significantly. I love those odds, gambling on those odds when I think it's going to happen. Looking at game logs, games where the Chicago Bears given up 30 or more points. They gave up 42 points to San Francisco. Caleb Williams had 42 passing attempts. They gave up 30 points to Baltimore. Caleb Williams had 38 passing attempts. They gave up 42 points to the Bengals. Caleb he went under the 36 feet, but he did have 34 passing attempts. But I think he stayed under because of how easy it is to run the football against the Bengals. That was they were very successful running the ball. So that contributed to the passing attempts staying low. But my point is the Rams going to score points. Caleb Williams is going to have to pass, especially in the second half. 30. So I like the passing attempts, 36, even 38, depending, if you're feeling like gambling a little bit, plus 301 on the 38. So that's where I'm at with this game. I do think it's going to be close, but the Rams are going to win.
Okay. Good takes. Josh, what do you got?
Writing Joe's.
Oh, my bad. Mike, we'll go to you. Mike, Josh is doing recording. Josh is doing recording right now. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with Joe. I like the Rams in the game. I think Cinderella's over for the Bears. Too many cardiac moments for them, and I think McVay's going to be ready. They're going to be ready, especially after that. They got that little scare from Carolina, which I don't think they expected. But I like the Rams in the game. Not sure about the total. I probably would go over if you had to make me play it. But the prop bet I have is I like a Doomsday over 33.5 yards. Since he's come back, he's getting a lot of targets. And I think they're just neglecting that. I think it's an easy over for him because the Bears are going to have to pass the ball. Besides that one outlier with Bijan Robinson, and I think Walker had exploded for a couple big runs. The Rams have been great against the run all season. So I think the Bears are going to have to pass, and Doomsday's right up, with I think he had 6-7 targets last week. I mean, Caleb wasn't too accurate, but I think 33.5 yards is going to be easy. And I think next year that's a guy, because he was injured. I think that's a guy I'll be targeting definitely in the drafts next year, because I think he's probably their most talented wide receiver. And but with the weather, I don't think it's going to be. I was at that Eagles Detroit game in a snowstorm, if you remember, and I think it was the first quarter. Nothing happened, and then the Eagles just exploded. Weather. I think people overrate the weather. Yeah, I remember one time I was telling Joey today. I don't remember the game. You might remember the game, Steve. It was in the Jets were playing. It was pouring rain. I forget who they were playing. And I think everybody liked the under, and it went so over. I think the spread went like way down, kept going down and down, torrential rainstorm. And the public just got murdered. Devontae Adams, obviously, he's used to the cold weather. So Stafford from his old,
I saw a post today that Matt Stafford is 1-8 in cold weather in his last 9 cold weather games.
I was just trying to look at that, and I don't know if that's right.
Me too. I kind of
looked pretty good down the stretch against the Eagles. Gave me a scare one for Jalen Carter. That's turned from like a perfect weather to a torrential snowstorm in the second half. He looked pretty good. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
He played 5 games where the temperature at kickoff was 32 or below. 3 of them when he was back in the NFC North. 3 of them being in Green Bay, with 1 each in Chicago and Philadelphia. And he played 1 against the Jets when it was 23 degrees. In those 6 games, he was 3-3, but he had 15 touchdowns and 3 picks. Now, as far as with the Rams, trying to find that. But that's what his record was when he was in the NFC North with the temperatures below freezing.
But he had a different team there. I mean, they're stacked.
Lions, yeah.
They got Rams got the tight ends, they got the receiver, they got the running backs. Totally different scenario. And like I said, Adams is certainly used to the cold weather, and I think Puka can play. Puka can probably matter to him. He probably thrives in it. Really, probably
like you said, Mike, I'm not going to overrate the weather here. I'm not going to get scared about Stafford and the weather. He's got good enough arm. His receivers are good enough. Maybe the cup causes a couple of hard balls, and maybe we get another deflate gate. We'll see, but just soften up that ball a little bit. But I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So I think they'll be able to pass the ball. All right, Josh, what do you got, man?
All right, I'm with you guys. I think the Rams come away with a win here, and I won't be shocked if it hits the over either. I'm also with you. I don't think the weather's a big enough factor one way or the other.
Now we do have to pay attention as we get closer. Like
if we get
a wind gear up to 40 miles an hour,
these teams are still figuring out a way to move the ball. They just got to get the ball in Puka's hand, right? Magic happens when he's touching the ball. So, but having said that, they utilize their tight ends well. I think they'll get all three tight ends involved. I'm actually going with the Colby Parkinson over 2.5 receptions. I like Colby. I know last week they got Higbee. They had Higbee involved pretty good. I think they'll, everybody's going to get a little piece of the pie and get some work this week.
Parkinson got the touchdown, though, didn't he?
What's that?
I think Parkinson scored the touchdown.
He did have that. He had an amazing catch.
So, yeah. But that's, they'll work him in there. He'll get his 3 receptions, and we'll hit that one. I feel confident on that. Joey Brown, I see you in the chat. You got to give me a new prop. He had a Dunze over 40. We're going to go with Michaels over 33.5 though. So Joey owes me a new prop there for the parlay.
Joe must have laddered that bet, I guess, with the Dunze, because he's got 7 more yards on Mike's bet.
Yeah, he went with the alt line.
Yeah, so you can still throw it in there.
What's that?
You can still use the ladder bet. It depends what the odds are. I don't know what the odds he got on that was.
Let's see here. Let me tell you real quick. Your Hall's touchdown that you were talking about earlier for the Bills, that's plus 940, by the way.
Oh wow, that's
a nice random flyer just to throw out.
I'm taking that one. I think. I didn't even know that was out there. All right, nice.
Let's see here. We're looking for Doomsdays.
Joey says parlay LA outscoring Chicago in the first half. Chicago wins the second half in points. That's been the script for them all year. That's what they've been doing. So, all right. Colson Loveland, he's going to be so popular. His freaking receptions is minus 155, over 4.5. They're just like scheming him up big time, and he's getting open. He's running out routes. He's getting away. He's separating from guys. So obviously in a game like this, it should be a little bit of back and forth despite the weather. Colson Loveland, even though he's going to be very, very trendy. But maybe some people, maybe the general public is maybe a little bit late to pick up on him still too. So maybe people are in love with a Dunze and Luther Burden and DJ Moore. So maybe it's not totally overly trendy, but I like the over in this game. I just think that the Rams are going to be able to move the ball again. 42 to San Francisco. We just saw Jordan Love have a big game against this Bears defense. Throwing for 4 touchdowns. I thought Jordan Love was kind of on his way to like another one of those like that Cowboy game where he tore up the Cowboys.
Right.
But they just slowed down so much in the second half. But the Bears, I mean, they've been kind of getting toward the last 3 games they've played. They've allowed 300-yard passes, 300 to Purdy, 300 to Goff, 300 to Love, 3 touchdowns to Purdy, 4 to Love. So, I mean, you got Matthew Stafford coming into town with Puka and Adams. Adams' first game back last week, probably maybe a little bit rusty. I think he's a little bit more comfortable in this game. Everybody's going to be thinking about Puka here. So I'm going back to Adams. I went to him last week, didn't work out, but I'm going to go back to him. He's used to playing in the cold. So Adams over 4.5 catches, and Adams anytime -120. But the best bet here I'll go with is Rams over 48.5. The only way that doesn't hit, I think, is if somehow the Bears offense poo-poos in the first half again, and they take a dump in the second half for the first time in, I don't know, 10 weeks or whatever it is, or, which would be highly unlikely based on the trend they've been doing all year. So I think Caleb, Ben Johnson, I think we'll be able to scheme up some stuff here to Loveland, to Burden, to DJ Moore. He's got too many weapons. Like this, they just have first-round picks, everywhere you look, and, high picks everywhere. So much talent on the field. And even the running backs can get involved in the passing game. So I really do think I'm not scared of the weather. I just really think this game's going to go over. The 3.5, I could see the Bears, somehow covering that, with the way they play and with the way they come back.
It's going to be close.
Yeah. So, I would lean Rams. If anything, maybe I'll take a 2-team teaser or something with the over. I mean, and buy those points, get the Rams on the plus side, and buy the total down to 42.5. If you're doing a 6-team 2-point teaser, but I mean a two-game teaser, a 2-team teaser rather. But yeah, so the over there is my best pick, and I do expect the Rams to win here and advance. Joey says Chicago really needs both running backs to be heavily involved and keep the Rams on the sidelines. Agreed there as well, Joey. All right, anything else? Go ahead.
Chicago needs to get after Matt Stafford and put a hurting on him. Like I mentioned, I think that's the only way that the Rams offense stumbles.
Chicago 23rd in sacks, and the Rams are number 1 in sacks allowed. So that's not a good stat for them.
You think they blitz them? They send an extra guy, at least an extra guy early, right, Joe?
They got to go after. They do. They have to go after Stafford.
Give them any type of time.
Rams first.
You can sidestep the pocket pretty good, but you're right.
Rams first in total offense. Chicago 29th in yards allowed. So yeah, the matchup just does not look good on paper here for Chicago, but they've been the comeback kids. Ben Johnson looked depressed in that first half. He looked like he was on tilt a little bit in that first half, and then that second half. Just, I mean, his defense. Jordan Love had so many chances, just couldn't do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, what were you still thinking? Fourth and 40, you're on 34. I mean,
yeah,
I thought he was like delusional, but
yeah, he was on tilt a little bit. I think.
He was on tilt. And a hell of a pass Caleb made to who made that catch?
Dunze. Yeah, the 4th down.
Was that in the 4th down? Yeah, that was just unbelievable play.
That was a great play. I mean, you get Caleb, credit to him. Like this year, he's definitely better at avoiding pressure. Last year, he was able to do a little bit, but he was getting caught up too much in sacks. And even in college, that was the one knock on him. He just took too many sacks, and he looks quicker this year. Like he definitely looks quicker and faster, and he's running more, and he's just evading pressure. And when he gets out of the pocket, that's where he's been kind of special. And again, he's got the best offensive coordinator, or one of the best rather, and some really good playmakers surrounding him. So they have a good team, and their defense has some talent too. But I just don't see them slowing down the Rams. The Rams, I think, are on a mission here. I just don't see them losing to Caleb. McVay, veteran, Stafford, veteran, losing to a first-time head coach. It's kind of similar to the Josh Allen, Liam Cohen thing against Trevor Lawrence last week. I kind of see this thing. It could be a close game for a little while, And it might be close throughout, but I think the Rams pull it out. All right. Anybody else got anything else on this before we wrap it up?
I think that's it. I think we covered it. We covered pretty good.
If the Bills pull it out against the Broncos, I'm here for all the Josh Allen hate talk next week and the arguing going back and forth with Joe. That's going to be
me and Steve. Yeah, that'll be good.
I don't think he's losing the boat, Nick.
I don't think I'd sit or hate him. I think he's a great. First of all, he's a great fit. I can never hate him because he's a
best quarterback in the league. Mike, come on.
I wouldn't say the best quarterback in the league, but I think he's the best fantasy quarterback in the league.
That's for sure. Yeah.
I think the best quarterback in the league is
Burrow.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Opinion. If I had to start a team, it's
you got to be avaviable, and that's another thing for Josh Allen. He's never missed a game.
Available to win in Kansas City that one year, and he was pretty close to winning the Super Bowl.
No, Burrow when he's healthy and he's got those two guys healthy. I mean, they're just so dangerous. But even this year, they were just kind of. Even the last game, there's something going on there. I mean, he might just be discouraged from all the injuries and the losing. There was something going on there. What do you think there, Josh?
I don't know. I think that the injuries are in his head a little bit, missing the whole season, missing the whole meat of the season. And I think he really believes that he could have made a difference at least. I mean, he only needed to make a difference really in 2 games. And there was a couple of those early that if he was available, he could have. So, I don't know. Everybody, I heard somebody say the other day, every team deals with injuries. And we saw what happened with the Niners this year when Purdy went down. Somebody else stepped up. They've lost, basically everybody on their team at some point this year. And here they are in the divisional round. So, can't make excuses. Just show up and play and finish games out.
Yeah, Joe, I don't think you want to see the Bills that if I agree. If Allen is great, no question about it. If he can pull this out in Denver, which is a tough place to play, especially after a tough game last week going to Denver in the altitude and that defense. I think they could be you could see them be that Baltimore Raven, that wild card team that just wins 3 games and goes right to the Super Bowl and wins it. I mean,
they're going to go after Allen if he loses. Whether
if he
it's
this game, I think he goes. He goes to the Super Bowl. I mean that will give him the next step. But then if he loses in the Super Bowl, they'll be like, well, he still can't win. Yeah, no, he gets. I'll give him that. They're undermanned.
But what? Joe's waiting for the Drake May Josh Allen game. That's what he.
That's going to be great. I don't think you want to see it. I think you want to see it next season.
I'll watch it this year too.
It's going to be going on. It's going to be going on for the next 7, 8, 10 years probably.
I think you'd rather do it.
Can I get a Burrow in there one year with either one of them? I don't care. Give me a Burrow in there.
And what's going on with Lamar now? I mean, it's crazy. We'll see what happens. How it all plays out, man. There's big shakeups. Things change fast in the NFL.
Who's going to be? This is going to be great, but which these teams line up.
Coaching shakeups and a lot of interesting free agents out there too. So it'll be the next 6-8 weeks will be.
What's the news on with Floor? Any news there that he's going to?
He's going to stay.
I don't see him going anywhere.
You think you'll keep?
We hit Joey. Did we get Joey's question, Joey?
Yeah, I was going to get to that, but Steve G says, "Great show as usual. Good luck this week and have a good night. Good night, brother." And then Joey says, question, what do you guys do with Nico Collins that's in the lineups at 2 times? Just leave him in for 3 times if they win? I think you got to take him out.
I'm doing. But I'm so far behind him. I think you have to. What do you go with this?
Well, you can replace him, can you? Can you take him out?
Yeah, you can take him out.
You can, but if you're what, 31, Steve? I mean, if I was up there in the top 50, I'd consider it. But if I'm way behind, there's no.
Who are you going to pivot to, though? You can't. You could pivot to Schultz and get the points, but if they win, you'll get Schultz ×2 against the tight end threaders in the Buffalo Bills.
You're giving up a 2-point guy, a guy to the field, basically. You got to gamble. You got to gamble that Houston wins, and you add a Houston guy, and then you get and then maybe you add Stroud, and after the champion, and
you got to lean into your build. You're right, Mike.
If you don't have Texans D, you could throw them in there. You could also throw in Fairbairn too, and get the guaranteed points.
I don't think you can throw in Fairbairn because you're replacing the wide receiver tight end, right?
Oh yeah, right. What the hell am I talking about? Well,
you can,
but what I'm saying is you could throw in a different team, and then you could use the tech there.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. So I don't know. It depends.
It's going to be interesting to see what everybody does. I can, I'm not a doctor. I'd like to hear somebody really speak on it, though. I worry with it being a second concussion that we don't see him. Not only
following week
either.
Yeah, and it sounds like
it depends where you are. Like I'm midway through. Like I'm half. If I have him on one team, I'm just going to go with another Houston receiver. Hopefully, if I lose, I think Allen's the quarterback that I have. If he loses, I'll just add Stroud. If he go to the Super Bowl, because I don't have a chance. I don't have a chance to. If I take him out and put in another guy, I'm too far behind to begin. I have to roll the dice and hope they get to the Super Bowl. It's the odds are against me to begin with, so I got to give myself at least a fighting chance. Hopefully, if that happens. That's the only scenario. But you got a good team. I mean, if you don't have them though, Steve, right? You have the Houston defense.
I have Houston defense.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's a tough decision you make. I wonder how many teams have them that are in the top 50 right now, points wise, have a Collins in their lineup. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
But yeah, I think Houston's going to have to create some turnovers for sure on May again to win this game. Same thing with San Francisco. Darnold's going to have to play really bad in this game for them to win too, I think. Which is, you never know. Again, Darnold's 0-1 in the playoffs. Purdy, to his credit, is 5-2. But this is going to be a tough matchup for him. What do you think what team do you think, if you had to pick one here this weekend, is definitely going to win this weekend? Your strongest. If you're going to bet the money line in any of these games.
I think we probably all agree. I think it's the Rams.
Seattle.
I think it's Buffalo.
Wow.
For me.
Really?
Yeah, I just keep thinking about that Denver-New York Jets game. and how
was that the game where you started Knicks over Caleb? Was that the game?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that was that terrible weather game. Yeah, that was that terrible weather.
That was the game, the worst game that was ever televised. I think it was what.
Yeah. That was the game it was the game in London, and the weather, it was like all rainy.
The Denver offense, man. I don't know. Bo Nix, Buffalo's pass defense is pretty good. They can cause turnovers. I think Bo Nix maybe makes a mistake or two. Like I said, Sean Payton always shoots himself in the foot in the fourth quarter with the play call, and there's just numerous factors. Denver's defense is top 5, but I don't think outside of just stopping the run, they don't have any elite. Their defense that isn't elite. I think if their Russian defense wasn't that good, they wouldn't be a top 5 defense numbers.
Joe's totally Steve. Here's a guy, he's totally objective. Patriot fan with Bill.
I'm telling you, he's waiting for the Patriots to beat.
Look
at
him.
That's what he wants.
He's objective. He knows.
He knows what's up. He's making the right picks. But another good point. Speaking of what Joe was talking about, I think Bo Nix and the Broncos had the 4th most 3-and-outs this year. So that shows the inconsistency of the offense.
Did you guys realize that Bo Nix led the league in passing attempts?
No,
really? That's crazy.
Even with you, I think it's because Jacoby Brissett didn't play a whole year. But yeah,
really.
Yeah, Bo Nix led the.
I looked at Sutton's game, his targets. I didn't look at the other 2 wide receivers. He had doubled. It was 43 targets in the last 4 games. Jeez. You're right. I would never have guessed that.
I got one question for you guys since we mentioned them earlier. Colston Loveland next year fantasy drafts. What round do you think he's in the top 5 rounds
Easily?
Yeah,
especially with Kittle. Kittle's gone. I mean, there's no Kittle. Who do you got Bowers. You got McBride.
Bowers and Loveland.
It's got to be the 3rd tight end. I mean, he's special.
And how about Tucker Kraft?
He'll
be out there.
Yeah, I don't think because of the injury, he's probably not going to be. I would probably say 6th round or 6th to 8th round, I guess, depending how he does. Looking in training camp, I guess. Is he going to be back definitely for the regulars, 100% before the regular season's opener?
I think what I heard yesterday was that they're expecting him to be ready for week 1. He'll start training camp on the PUP list, but they expect him to be ready for week 1. It's January 15th. We didn't expect Chris Godwin to miss as much time and have a second surgery and this and that. He didn't have an ACL, but there's
Chris Godwin's like 8th injury though in his career. So
but I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with the rehabs and things like that. It's still really early.
So the only reason I ask, because typically in the past handful of seasons, that mid-round tight end has been the Achilles heel, something you've wanted to avoid. There have been very few that actually paid off as far as roster construction goes. Is either that elite premium tier or grab somebody after round 10 is what's been working. And we're talking about Tucker Kraft in round 7, the round 4, 5, 6, 7. There's going to be viable tight ends. I just not sure if these, as far as roster construction go, is it going to be worth it to take these guys in that range?
The FFPC, I think you're going to see some guys get spicy. You might love in the 2nd round, and maybe they can get crazy with it. They see the tight end premium. I've seen that, and maybe what do you think the earliest Loveland goes in these drafts?
It's just kind of crazy because the Bears have so many guys, but again, DJ Moore's probably. It sounds like he might be gone. So
if he's gone, I don't even.
Yeah, they'll open things up.
I think he might go when you get to those midnight owls, OCs. They get a little crazy.
3, 4.
But I mean, think about Laporta in his rookie year. Everybody chased him the 2nd year, and he didn't really work out. So we'll see what happens.
He's like a thoroughbred. He just looks like a.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful. You got to be careful where you draft these guys.
Yeah, no, you do.
That's going to be interesting. When you're right.
Well, I think that's one thing we always have to be aware of is the hype, because the hype bumps these guys up. The Bill Krosky merits, even Trevion was bumped up way too high. So if these guys start going up higher and higher and higher, then you really want to kind of back off. And that's why the early drafts.
That's up for debate on Trevion because he got held back by his coach. They wouldn't let him play. But also Ramondre has outplayed him. I mean, Ramondre's looked better. 100%. Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes the hype is just too much, and that's the one thing I hate about fantasy football is you could scout a guy, and you could be right on his talent, and then the coaching just doesn't put him out there. Like Derrick Henry. It's I love the guy, and he wouldn't be. He played behind DeMarco Murray, and even his 3rd year, Deion Lewis, he was sharing carries with. I'm like, what the hell is going on? He just got a freaking ball, and it took Artie Smith of all people to finally unlock him.
And it wasn't until the end of the playoff stretch I had him that year.
Yeah, it was towards the middle end of the year he started.
I was like, what? I was expecting this all season. I paired him with Todd Gurley that year. I thought my team was gonna be set. I had 3 number 1 wide receivers. I came in 4th place, was pretty good, but I was expecting, I had to get it as a wild card. And I was expecting the dominant. When I drafted that team, I thought to myself, this team is might be one of the better teams I've ever drafted in my career. I mean, and Derek Henry, and then it was just so frustrating because there were games he had less than 10 carries that year. So
what we should do? We should probably do like a lessons learned show. We could do a lessons learned show.
Remember the Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams first year? Oh, Melvin.
Yeah, that's another one.
I could have strangled Hackett.
Yeah.
But also in the NFFC, the thing about Loveland, I like him, but it's different than the FFPC because it's a mandatory 3 wide receivers. That's where the thing is in the NFC. You got to start 3, and if you're not strong at wide receiver, like most teams, the winners basically they're going to be strong at wide receiver when it's all said and done, and that's something you lose that opportunity if you go too early. So it's true. But I think he's worth. I think the earliest maybe 4th round in the NFC. I could see that.
How high did Laporta go in those NFC drafts a couple of years ago after his big year?
He crept into the 2nd round.
That's what I remember. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's a little.
He was like the Kelsey. He was getting to that Kelsey level basically.
Some people were snapping him off from the 1 spot in the back end of the 2nd round.
I mean, he's a good player reporter. Loveland's got the talent all over him. I mean, there was a reason why the Bears took him, especially his first year. Ben Johnson's that he probably pushed for that big time, and with all the receivers they had and already a tight end they just re-signed, right? They gave him a new contract.
And it helps too when you're Ben Johnson schemed up. Like when you're schemed up by Ben Johnson, that's huge. We saw what that did for Amon-Ra and just set his career off. And he was 6th round pick or a 4th, 5th round pick, Amon-Ra. So, credit to Amon-Ra. He's a great player for sure. But when you're schemed up like that, it's just going to produce fantasy results. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
But, all right. I think that's it. Great show, guys. I think we dropped a lot of good information. We hit 55% last week. Hopefully we could hit above that this week. Maybe we get to the 60 percentile. But everybody enjoy the games. Like, subscribe, show, follow everybody. You can follow Joe at Points by Hand Carlton right there. Me at Fantasy Savvy, Josh at Elite JB25, and Mike at GPY Lou. Joe, are you doing any you got any shows going on the other channel?
Nah, well, I'm taking a break on Aces Up. Will return at the end of the month, but I am taking a couple of weeks off of that pod. I want to shout out all of the live listeners right now. We're almost at 300 on X. Go over to YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. We're doing good stuff all off season. Fantasy Savvy YouTube channel. Shout out Steve. For letting us hop on here and talk some football for everybody.
Yeah, well, we're all fantasy savvy, so hopefully next year, everybody, as we get into next year, we'll do a lessons learned show. We're gonna have a big time year next year, so we'll be dropping a lot of knowledge the rest of the way. We'll be back next week for another preview. This time for the championship round, and then we'll do a Super Bowl. And then maybe we'll do a recap of everything, lessons learned show at the end. But like Joe said, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's it. And you guys want to say anything before we get out of here, Josh or Mike?
No, great show again, Steve.
Okay.
Go Hoosiers.
And we got the college football final coming up.
Yeah,
that's going to be an interesting game.
That's what you want to wait for. Steve's pick. Steve is he's on fire.
And what?
Steve is a maniac at college football.
He's ready to go to Turks and Caicos.
I don't even watch college football. I'm just looking at the numbers.
Have to watch it. He knows it. He just knows it.
I do better than that. I do better than that in the NFL. The NFL have been terrible this year, so. Yeah, the college has been good.
I think he came out with Navy. What was the first time he came out with Navy? I forget the other game. They won easy.
Yeah, I just started betting on both.
You haven't lost since then. So wait for Steve's pick. Is that's something you want to listen to for.
Yeah, I'll drop that. I'll drop that on the YouTube page or the Twitter. So follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy. Follow the rest of these guys. Thanks, guys, for a great show. Thanks for your time. Thanks for everybody for listening. Thanks to the new subscribers. We're getting out of here. See you next week. Enjoy the games.